this week's tech news. The UK is preparing to ban the like button. YouTube placed a link to info about 9/11 under Notre Dame fire videos. What's next from Sony's PlayStation? What is happening with Navi? Possibility of launch at E3. Radeon Navi specifications leak. What is happening with the Galaxy Fold? And finally, Windows updates breaking many antivirus programs. First of all, we have how social media sites are possibly having to ban the like button. So this is because of long-standing criticism of their negative effects on young people. These guidelines are that they can remove the like button to remove the pressure to try and get more likes than your friends. So this is going to say that these likes and streaks that are used to keep under 18s online longer should not be allowed. So it is currently under consultation and is going to put forward 16 standards that social media giants such as Facebook must meet. In addition to the ban on the like button, this one I now agree with, is that a highest privacy setting should be the setting that is enabled by default, unless there is a major reason not to. Now, obviously this could be tweaked by Facebook, as they could say, without being able to give away personal information, they cannot properly support their platform with ads. It's also saying about getting rid of nudge techniques to encourage children to hand over personal data when they don't need to. So this is they say that this is a connected generation. The internet and all its wonders are hardwired into our everyday lives. So this is intended to try and relieve pressure on teenagers after there have been several issues with child safety, child privacy, and more on these websites. Now, YouTube's so famous algorithm made a bit of a bungle after the Notre Dame fire. So it has an algorithm for news videos where it will place relevant about things below the video. So it identified the Notre Dame fire on live streams as September 11th, 2001. So this issue is that, one, it failed to recognise what was going on correctly, and the fact that it also put a dodgy link at the bottom that worried people, as September 11th is obviously a sensitive topic. So it shouldn't really put that sort of link there. From Wired we have what they're calling exclusive. So what to expect from the next generation PlayStation from Sony. Now, there are many things that people would like from it. So they've had 4 years building this. So we have to get one thing right. This is not just going to be an upgrade like the PS4 Pro was to the PS4. So you'd obviously have good reason for thinking otherwise. Both Sony and Microsoft did a mid-cycle refresh on the current console generation with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. Now, the key question is whether the console will add more to the experience or if it allows fundamental changes. So, if history is any guide, it will probably be dubbed the PlayStation 5. So the next generation console is supposedly not landing in stores anytime in 2019. A number of studios have been working with Sony, and Sony recently deployed dev kits so game creators have the time they need to adjust to its capabilities. As with the PlayStation 4, Cerny acted as lead system architect for the coming system. So he's integrated developers' wishes and his own gaming hopes in something that's much more revolution than evolution. So this is going to be a brand new box. So this generational shift is going to include some foundational adjustments. So it is going to have more powerful CPU and GPU. So this means that things such as it is expected to obviously use a Vega graphics or possibly Navi, as well as the new 3rd gen Ryzen. So it is going to be obviously going to be like the previous generation with a custom APU. So the system memory will also increase in size and speed. So this is going to happen to help with the rising size of game files. Think things such as City Skylines, where you need minimum of 8 gigs of RAM on a PC to run it. So this is obviously going to necessitate larger downloads or high capacity physical media so your game discs being bigger. So the next gen console is going to tick all these boxes of the upgrades. So it is expected to be a 7nm chip and will possibly integrate ray tracing. It obviously was only recently announced with Nvidia, and no games console has been able to manage doing ray tracing in real time yet. So this is obviously visual benefits and will have better looks on your games. I obviously cannot tell you what ray tracing looks like, as my best graphics card currently is my brand new GTX 950. So there is a rumour going around that AMD is going to launch Navi graphics cards at E3. So this is going to have the Radeon Navi graphics at E3 rather than Computex. This has puzzled everybody, including people such as UFBD Tech, as this is not what you'd expect, seeing as AMD has a keynote at Computex from Lisa Su. So obviously you would expect it's coming at Computex. So the full launch is reportedly going to happen on the 7th of the 7th, so July 7th. The perfect timing given AMD's use of 7nm from TSMC. So Navi graphics architecture will be reportedly used to create the next generation consoles from both Sony and Microsoft, as we have said. So a factor which will obviously see Navi age well when it comes to AAA gaming. With Computex 2019 and E3 2019 on the horizon, AMD is likely to unveil their next generation graphics and possibly their next generation compute with their new CPUs. So the Galaxy Fold has been having a few issues. So review units are failing everywhere with display issues. So the issue is, one, a screen protector that is part of the screen being a natural thing to peel off for most reviewers. So most reviewers have had failures with after removing a panel's protective film, while others have not. So there are wonderings whether this screen protector was the issue or not. So Samsung did tell some reviewers not to remove it, but not everybody. The problem with it is that it looks like just a protective shipping plastic, so it is not known if this may be why, as not only after peeling off the layer does it cause failure, but possibly the act of folding and unfolding could cause the layer to come off anyway. There is obviously an issue with these screens failing, which causes problems, as this has been a minimum of 4 out of however many they have released to reviewers. So another problem is that there was nothing on the packaging. They were told by Samsung about not removing it. So it is hard to explain what happened. So there are not many that have failed, but it is out of a small number, which is why this is such big news, especially with Samsung's plans to launch the Fold out to consumers very soon. So we do not know how widespread it may be, if Samsung will be able to pin them to a particular batch or a known problem, as it may have since been solved in production. Nobody knows really. And finally, the latest Windows update has broken many antivirus programs, such as Avast, Archibit, McAfee, Sophos. So computers are affected by the bugs run fine until you try to log in. At that point, your operating system slows to a crawl. So this actually can also cause freezes and affects Windows 10 as well as 7, 8.1 and their relative server versions. So this is the build 1909 build. This is the 1903 build, so the April patch, and is causing large issues. So some users were able to log into their computers, but it took 10 or more hours. So Avast has recommended that its users leave systems at the login screen for 15 minutes before attempting to log in. And then after this, an Avast update will run, and Archibit and Avira have also published their updates to solve the problem. You can also try booting into safe mode and uninstalling your antivirus if you wish to solve the issue immediately, as this does not affect safe mode. So all these antivirus vendors have blamed Microsoft for the issue. So Microsoft recently made a change to how a component of Windows that coordinates applications runs. So this leads to freezing of antivirus clients as they attempt to access a resource but are blocked from doing it. So now they are more aware of this change, and it's unclear why they weren't, given that the change happened in insider previews. Future updates should fix most of the issues here. So thank you very much for watching. Like, favourite, share, all that stuff helps us out greatly.